Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Health Talk, and I have a very special guest today, Cheyanne Lane of the Tahoe Youth and Family Services. Mm-hmm. And I met you at the Lakeside Inn. You were out there working on an event, and came and saw you, and we talked a little bit, and I had told you I come across food from time to time and had a chance to go see you at work, and you're a busy person.
Absolutely.
You're officially a outreach coordinator.
Yes.
What does that involve?
Well, it means I conduct all the outreach that happens, because being a nonprofit, we have to really put our name out there because we can't afford advertising and whatnot. And so we go to a lot of community events like the Bijou Bash, Earth Days, Carson Valley Days, any kind of event that's happening. And
so
we
you're
put
out
our
there.
name out there.
Well, I looked at all your things on the website, and one of them was how to support yourself, support us, I think it was called. You have some pretty good donors. I mean, a good variety of who's who of Tahoe.
Oh, absolutely.
And the whole region, I mean, too, as well.
Yeah.
So you're the person that goes and talks to them about getting some funding, too?
I really don't do the funding issues. We have a communications coordinator that does a lot of our funding, and a grants developer, and our executive director focus mostly on the funding. So we get most of our funding through donors.
Well, you're doing a great job.
And then the rest of our funding comes through federal grants. So it's all, and then right now with there's sequestering going on, grants are kind of a little harder to come by.
Well, I know your mission was to promote healthy development of youth and families by providing counseling, education, and support services.
Absolutely.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
But as you start looking through with your items, you have a lot of things you do. A lot of counseling.
Yes, we do individual and family counseling. We do outpatient drug and alcohol counseling. And that we do that in Tahoe, Douglas, and Alpine County, and Incline Village. I
was going to say that. I also saw Zephyr Cove was involved as well, and State Line. And then also I looked at, you had Nevada's big gives coming up for April 25th for charitable donations. Mm-hmm. And then you had something about April 27th for South Lake Tahoe's Earth Day. Mm-hmm. So you'll be out there with the table again?
Absolutely.
Giving out outreach? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was it's incredible. And then also, I had talked about your current services, and this is what I read online. Individual and family counseling, that's big.
Yep.
Adult and substance abuse counseling.
Yeah, we just recently started doing adults about the last 6 months. Before, we only focused on youth, but now we take private insurance, and so now we can have adults.
Well, I thought that was awesome, because it's hard to cure the problem of the kid if the adults are being a bad influence.
Definitely. That's like why we do the family counseling as well, because if there's substance abuse issues and we're just focusing on the youth and you're not bringing the parents in, then you're not doing a wraparound service to where both the parents and the youth are coming together and bettering themselves instead of just one individual doing it and the parents not contributing can make it difficult.
Well, I know when my nephew used to come over, it turned out that the neighbor's kid was getting drugs from his parents. Mm-hmm. So my nephew was getting drugs from the kid from his parents next door.
Oh, yeah.
Until we found out about it, we didn't have any control. And then we found out we kind of just limited that friendship.
Well, that's where a lot of the kids get their prescription drugs or marijuana, especially in Tahoe. It's so prevalent and it's deemed okay, and like you'll hear the kids talking through their parents or the parents talking through the kid where it's like, oh, it's just a plant, nothing will happen, it's all good.
Well, I thought I read someplace that some of the kids were throwing pills into a hat and at parties and just taking
the
anything.
Farm parties stuff.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Is it true?
Yeah.
Because I know I've got some pills for heart medication and things that really could hurt some people.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We just did, it was called the Drugstore Project. We do it with all the 6th graders in South Lake Tahoe, and it talks about the importance of not using prescription drugs that aren't prescribed to you, and then the dangers of mixing them with alcohol and drugs. And it's a 4-hour event where the kids go through the vignettes, and you start out like sled nets there, and you're in the room, and they show the different drugs, and then they have one kid pretend like he steals it.
Oh, wow.
And so the other kids don't know what's happening. And so they go from there and the kid gets arrested. And then you go to the next vignette is at their juvenile hall. And they talk about, they got the probation officers there, the correctional officers there, and they have a whole jail scene set up. Wow. And they're yelling at the kid. And, the kids get all scared. And then the next one is they go to court. And so you have Judge Kingsbury's there, and the parents are acting it out, and you got real DA and a prosecutor there.
Do you have CASA involved with something like that too?
Huh?
CASA?
CASA, well, they do more they volunteer their time to be a part of it.
Okay.
You get a lot of people in the community that are a part of it, but they don't have like a vignette where cost is involved. But then from the judge, you go to the courtrooms, and you go to counseling,
Oh,
and then you have to get drug and alcohol counseling. And then the next vignette is the kids are at the party, and then a kid takes a pill, and then drinks a beer, and then ODs.
Oh, wow.
And so you have the EMTs come in, and they shock them alive or whatever, and then they take them out on the gurney. And then the next vignette is they're in a hospital room.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, they got the doctors working on them. And then the next one, the kid dies, and then the funeral. And then they have the casket set up, and there's a mirror in there to show that it could be each one of those kids. And then afterwards, there's like a debrief, and so it kind of just shows the reality of what can happen.
Back in my days, this is a while back, but we had about 10 kids died in my yearbook. It's like a big memorial starting off my yearbook, because a lot of kids were just out of control. I mean,
yeah.
We were by the Maryland line, and at that time it was 18 to drink. So all the kids were driving to Maryland
To get drunk,
and
yeah.
not making it back.
Yeah.
It was like 26 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you find out some of the kids that also died were had the beer with the pain pills. It shut down their lungs.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, the gauntlet we go through to make it to an adult age is just amazing.
Well, then, like living in Nevada, it's the 24-hour lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of states, and there's more states than just Nevada that you can drink 24 hours a day. But if that's more, if that's available, I think more kids are apt to do it because they see it around. And like being in Tahoe is more of a transient town, and you get a lot of people that have drugs that are transporting them through, and that's just the reality of the situation.
Well, you have your hands full, and then I saw that you had adolescent recovery groups.
Yes, we do. We work at the JTC, and then we also do like a young woman's group and a young man's group in all the schools. And we also do a Project Alert that's down here in Douglas County, and that's it's like a prevention intervention program. It's a 10-week curriculum where we go to DHS and CVMS and Pawalu and try to get the kids that are already starting to do drugs and try to do it as a more of an intervention. Because at the high school, a lot of kids are already starting. They're already smoking, they're already drinking. So it's more of an intervention program. But we're also at the Pawalu in the middle and CVMS, and you'd be amazed at how many of these kids are. There's one kid, he's like, oh yeah, I started smoking at 11. I'm like, really?
Actually, I wouldn't be amazed because I was shooting for their partnership with Community Resources, the meth and the alcohol and the even cigarettes and then something else, pretty much hard drugs.
Yeah.
And they were doing surveys, and the percentages coming off the surveys was pretty high.
Oh yes, we do the Scantrons. It's for SAPTA, the Substance Abuse Prevention Association, or I don't know what the last A is for, but we do. It's like a bubble thing, and it's confidential, and tell the kids, we're not going to judge you for it. We're not even going to, you can shuffle them up because your names aren't on there. Mm-hmm. And it tells, like, when was the first time you had a drink? How many cigarettes have you had? When was the first time you tried marijuana? And it even goes into the aspects of how many of your parents, or do your parents smoke or drink, and what do you think about that and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's a really good way to capture realistic numbers that you can prove to the government or the state of what these kids are doing, so you can get funding to do these programs within the school.
Well, that's what I said. I'm all for keeping them kids busy because it's boredom is what causes it.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even a thought process. And then you had individual teen drug and alcohol counseling. I thought that was pretty expensive, actually. You get them into individualistic things. And then a life skills group. What's that?
There's just basic life skills, Kids that come from these families don't necessarily have a parent that teaches them, how to do laundry, how to do resumes, how to get a job, how to dress appropriately for jobs.
So probably if you were, I call them campers, but on the run, camping kind of, you teach them how to help them on their hygiene problems?
Well, we don't really, with the homeless kids that we deal with, we don't necessarily give them life skilled lessons. It's more like inadvertently just talking to them about how you're conducting yourself and hygiene and stuff like that. But with the drop-in centers that we run, we don't really do groups out of the drop-in centers because it's not what the kids will stay around for.
Okay, so you know it then.
Yeah.
You've been around a while.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. A lot of the kids that I deal with in the Tahoe drop-in center in particular are kids that are aged out of foster care and don't really have anywhere to go, and they've kind of just been dropped out of the system. And then you have kids that have had substance abuse problems their whole life, kids that have just come from really bad families and no one's ever really cared for them, where you get kids that are just kind of fell through the systems and have mental health issues, and they just haven't gotten the help that they need, and so we'll try to get them on SSI or some kind of
Well, that's
supplemental
good. Any kind of
income.
money coming in would be a lifesaver in treatment.
Well, they have to, and a lot of people
Yeah.
they don't get very many case managers or good case managers that detect these kind of issues and like, why don't you get a job? What's wrong with you? And it's like, if you look into it, like, this person really can't function. And so you got to find the alternatives that will set them up for success, because if not, they're just going to be chronically homeless.
Well, I have a head injury, and I've got a lot better over the years since 1990. But I can pretty much talk to people and know which ones have head injury problems and challenges because of that head injury, and they're living in motels around here and just trying to survive, and they should have gotten treatment years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're doing it at a youth level that you can hopefully get them on a better chance for treatment.
Well, you hope so. You know, you want to be the guidance, and it's like, it's indirect counseling. And so they don't think they're getting counseling, but they are. You know, because they have a place they come, and a lot of these kids will hang out. We're open from 1 to 5, and they'll be there the entire time just talking and needing someone to talk to.
Well,
and some of these kids don't even have family.
Yeah.
You know, parents have died, and, you know, a lot of the foster kids that, you know, but hopefully with Proposition AB 12, we'll be able to, foster care will see kids up to the age of 21.
Wow. Okay. Good.
So,
Well, I know I moved out here. I was still had challenges to survive, and my dad put me in a trailer park, and then I had people abusing meth on one side of me and people abusing alcohol on the other side of me. And I just finally called the El Dorado County Mental Health Services because I said I can't take care of myself here. And they got me the treatment, the help, and then I was able to take care of myself, and then just got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And what they did was take me off of the drugs that the doctors were giving me were just making me zapped out. I was over medicated.
yeah.
But if they wouldn't have done it, I'd probably still be living in some kind of group home someplace and not being able to take care of myself.
Absolutely, and I think we have a couple kids that have Asperger's that hasn't been diagnosed. You know,
Yeah.
they're not fully autistic, but they have the mild form that, you know, they'll never ever really be able to work. You know, they don't think in that way. You know, it's like, really, I have to be up at a certain time? Why is that important? Why do I have to wear a certain attire? You know, it's like they'll show up in like a skull shirt or whatnot, like, oh, let's look for a job. It's like, no, it doesn't really work that way.
Well, it
You know,
sounds like
so
you
it's
really do a good thing for the community. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about Ms. Cheyanne about Tahoe Youth and Family Services.
Beautiful.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
Well, now I'm not rich, and I don't aim to be, but with you I could live in this forever after happily. Well, now he slows down, I hurry up, oh, I call him farm boy, he calls me buttercup. Every now and then when I see you smile, well, it takes me back to a place I knew when I was a child. Well, now I'm not rich, and I don't aim to be, but with you I could live in this forever after happily. Well, now he brings me tea in my favorite cup, and he takes me on adventures. He thinks that I'm tough, and he tells me I'm pretty. Yes, he's oh so kind, and I'll tell you that there ain't no man that I would rather stand by, because I'm not rich and I don't aim to be, but with you I could live in this forever after happily. I don't really wanna be alone tonight, so will you come and collect me, please? The excitement of this moment there is keeping me awake, and all I have to do is ask, and he will, as you wish, as you wish, as you wish. I'm not rich, and I don't aim to be, but with you I could live in this forever after, oh, so happily. I'm not rich, and I don't aim to be, but
Hi, we're back with Cheyanne from the Tahoe Youth and Family Services, and tell you, this is a pretty sharp program. And when I was going through your website, I saw a part where, I guess Alyssa Norse, is that her name, about the mentoring?
Well, Alyssa Norse is our executive director.
Oh, okay.
Eli Stevenson runs our mentoring in South Lake Tahoe, and Betty Hathaway runs our mentoring in Alpine.
Yeah, and the mentor child is part of it, and become a safe house too? I didn't
The
understand that.
Safe Place, it was a program we used to have, but we've discontinued it. It's a great program. We just the kids weren't really using it. It was a campaign to where local businesses would display the Safe Place sign, and kids could go in there and say, like, if a stranger was following them or a bully was following them.
Seen it like at cleaners and places like that.
Yeah,
so you could stay there until the troublemaker went away.
But it was an expensive program that cost us a lot of money, and it wasn't being used by the kids. So we just have our crisis line number, and we put them on our outreach cards, and so the kids know our number.
And then this also said something about donations, how to support your program, and someone said that you can give a gift of goods or services, and I thought that was nice. And then Jack DiCarlo, one of the people who's been on our show, our music show, Neavda Trails, wants to come and do be part of a fundraiser, either yours
very excited about it.
or either yours in August sometime, or we can make up one maybe.
Absolutely, we're always open to new fundraising ideas.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We'd just have a lot of fun, and then. Because you have, and also if you go to their website, check out all the organizations that support your great cause, because it's unbelievable. There must have been 50 companies on there.
Well, people believe in helping the children. You know, they are the leaders of our future, and so we want to make the best for them.
Well, didn't you mention you had like 411 visits to the Garnerville Ranchos?
We did, yes.
That's a lot of kids needing help.
Well, it's just a good place for these kids to go. It's a safe environment. You know, even though we call it the drop-in center, all the kids just call it Safe Place. Which is great, you know, because you'll hear them on their phone talking to their parents or talking to their friends. Yeah, I'm down in a safe place right now.
Well, you have one in the Ranchos and one in South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And then how late can the kids stay there?
The one in Tahoe is only open 1 to 5, 7 days a week. And then the one here in the Ranchos is open from 1 to 7.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. 3 to 7 when they're in school.
And I had on here ages, well, the slogan was, get recharged, get resources, and get respect.
Absolutely.
I like that, because if you feel cleaned up a little bit and relaxed, you definitely do better out there.
Well, yeah, because if you're a homeless kid, you know, a lot of people look down upon you, you know, and you don't really get much respect, and you don't have many places to go to get recharged, where you can go and take a shower and get some clean socks on. You'd be amazed what a pair of clean socks does to a person. Especially, you know, if you're walking around all day long, and then, you know, you get boot rot really easily. And
What if you get wet?
Oh,
You
yeah.
start to feel good.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I come in contact with clothes. Is that something you take for donations?
We do on a small scale. You know, we don't want to have a lot of clothes donated because it gets overwhelming for us. But like every few months, we'll put out on our Facebook that we're in need of certain items, just so that way it's more controlled. Because you'll get people that just dump off bags of
I know. I
stuff
actually
to you,
did
and
that
it-
by accident. The place next to the food closet, they needed clothes, and I gave them like 500. They didn't expect that kind of donation. So I pulled them back and kept them in storage and just gave them a little bit at a time.
Which we appreciate. We love people that donate to us. Don't get me wrong. It's not that kind of a thing. It's just it just gets overwhelming for us, and with the manpower and having to store it and distribute it among other people.
Actually, that
can
reminds
get
me, I
rough.
got some applesauce and some canned fruit in the car. Can you help me unload it later?
Oh, absolutely.
My back's been out. I've been running around this car. Justin was going to help me, but I just can't get to it. I've been driving around with all this food. I just keep on picturing an applesauce is an easy thing to search somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, I got you that.
Okay.
All right, then also at the Safe House, you can play games, watch movies, surf the internet. A lot of times people communicate by internet.
Yes. Well, nowadays it's all social media. Like the one in Gardnerville, we do more of the playing games, like a way to get kids to get indirect counseling, because I think you can learn more out of a kid in 1 hour of play than you can in 10 hours of counseling. And so it's more indirect counseling for them. They tend to open up more through games.
I like that idea. And then you could even listen to music and hang out with friends or just relax.
Absolutely.
That's not too threatening.
No, it's not.
Well, when I was a youngster, my mom drank too much, so I didn't come home. And her friends kind of drank too much with them. So when I was younger, I used to hide in the bedroom. And then when I got a little bit older, I used to hide in the field. Then when I got a little bit older,
You kept going.
I used to hide at the fire department.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I was allowed to be there. I'm not sure if you're allowed to be at fire departments now, but we played
I don't
Yahtzee.
think so. I'm sure they wouldn't kick you out, but
They didn't kick me out, but I played Yahtzee with the firemen, and we just did that until they had a call, and then they shoo me away.
Yeah.
But if you have a place where they go and like play Yahtzee or Scrabble or whatever, it's awesome.
yeah, they do a lot of apples to apples there.
Oh,
You know,
right.
we have like ping pong tournaments and
Oh, right.
Dance Revolution is always a good thing. And on Saturday nights we have movie nights where they can
Ooh.
come and watch movies. And we have a popcorn machine and we have that. And then our indoor skate park keeps them very active. And we try to do activities that are physical.
And you said they're redoing your skateboard
Yeah,
park?
GE, their outreach team,
Oh.
has come in. And they're going to redo our whole skate park and help us get donations for helmets and skateboards because unfortunately we can't afford to get this kind of stuff. And so if a kid doesn't have a skateboard, or they can't borrow one from a friend, we don't have any like held back for them to use.
Well, yeah.
And,
If you get the helmet, that's even
yeah,
better.
and they have to have helmets, you
Yeah.
know, we don't, you know, they fall down, they're all
I've been there,
underage.
done that.
Yeah.
So that's just an awesome place when you help the runaway homeless, and
Couch surfing.
that reminded me of my nephew. He did the couch surfing thing.
Yeah, we get a lot of that in Tahoe. You know, we have a lot of the runaway and homeless kids are more in Tahoe. You know, like I said earlier, it's like no one really runs away to Gardnerville. A lot of kids run away to Tahoe. And so our drop-in centers are totally different. The one in Tahoe is more the 18 or the 16 to 24-year-old population that are really homeless, that are almost starting to become chronically homeless or have mental health issues or drug addiction problems. And down in Gardnerville, the drop-in center is more of a safe place for kids to come after school and get positive youth development skills. We have basketball tournaments, skateboard competitions.
Awesome.
Yeah, just kind
I'll
of
keep
keep
you
them
in shape.
active. Absolutely. Ping pong. We've
And
got
if you're
really
too
good
old
ping
for these
pong.
places, go to the St. Teresa's on Monday, Sierra on Wednesday for lunch, and Friday St. Presbyterian Church, and then Sunday Hot Gossip.
Hot gossip, absolutely.
And then, so that's a lot of stuff. And then I was looking at your counseling services.
Mm-hmm.
You have like 10 different types, and you're also Spanish and English.
Yes, we are.
Which I thought was
Which is-
very cool.
Well, we have to be.
Yeah.
You know? 'Cause
So-
it would be unfortunate not to have Spanish-speaking people, you know, especially because we have such a large Latino population.
Yes, so you're talking about some pretty big numbers of people here now.
Oh, yes.
And
Absolutely.
even on the front page of today's paper, I didn't read the whole article, but it was talking about family violence, I think.
I
And
haven't-
I don't know what group that is, but it's almost every week there's an article like that popping up in our area.
Interesting.
And the statistics of so many people in trouble are just awesome, too.
Staggering, yeah.
So the fight you guys do is definitely appreciated. You
Yeah.
know, because I think one of your quotes on your slogans was, you know, the crisis is what's so bad is if people, you know, they're bad in trouble and you don't try to help them.
Yeah.
So you're doing a good thing.
We try.
Well, I think you're doing it great. So I
It
think,
takes a lot of us to make this all happen.
well, I can
That's
see
for
how
sure.
you just have some fun, and then you have the people that are
The
doing
mentoring.
the mentoring program. I think I met Ellie Stevenson.
Eli?
Or Eli.
Yeah.
I met her the other day. She's a nice person.
fantastic.
She was the only one in the office.
Yeah. Well, did you go on a Friday?
I don't know. I was early though.
Were
So
you?
like I picked up bread today to give you at 9:30, so I might have made a direct stop. But what made it so interesting though was when I was there was Chinese people talking to her and in trouble. I thought that's interesting because if the people are that comfortable from your reputation that different types of people are coming in there, that's a good thing. It's
It
like
is
an
a good
umbrella
thing.
of people that need help.
Well, we've been around for over 40 years. I think it's like 41 years we've
I
been
did
in
not know
service.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only in the last 5 years we've expanded through, you know, Alpine, Incline, Douglas County, just to get the services out there. Our executive director found that there was a lack of drug and alcohol counseling for youth in Douglas County, and so that's why we opened up the Mission Street office to get individual counseling and outpatient drug and alcohol counseling. And then just with, you know, the kids hanging out in front of 7-Eleven and the bowling alley and the ranchos, you know, she lives in that area, and she was like, well, let's open up a drop-in center down here. Let's see if we can get funding for it to get these kids off the streets.
Definitely 100% true.
Yeah.
And then actually where your office is in Gardnerville, that's a tough area.
It is.
Yeah,
and then now we'll be bringing the mentoring program here as well. And so starting right now, if anybody wants to be a mentor, we need them desperately. The big brothers, big sisters of Northern Nevada have moved out of the area.
No.
And so we want to fill that gap.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's a crisis right there.
absolutely.
Why would they move out?
I don't know the politics behind it. I'm not really sure.
That's so terrible.
I don't know why.
I was
but-
saying to you earlier that I went to the Reno Aces game last year and did a story on it, and they had like 2,000 kids in the outfield, all from the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Yeah, well, the Boys and Girls Clubs are still here. It's just the big brothers, big sisters.
I know. but-
Yeah, so I'm
so
not
your
sure.
mentoring program is definitely vital right now. So
Absolutely.
if you want to help a kid, give them a call and become a mentor.
Go on our website. We have the applications on there. We just really want to get it up and running. We want to get some kids that really need it. We're going to try to get some of the young people that come into the drop-in center, try to get them mentors, and so just
How
get it
many
rolling.
kids do you have available right now that need a mentor?
I don't know the statistics on it because I think it's a new program. We're just now getting it going. But I'm sure like in the next 6 months, we'll probably have about 50, if not more.
So what kind of qualifications for a mentor are there?
Well, you have to sign up for a year. You know, we do a background check, obviously. You got to commit to at least an hour a week, you know, because you want to be somebody that stays in these kids' lives. And so it is a commitment. You want to be there for the next 4 to 5 years with these kids.
Get involved and you pull a trigger, then you leave and just break their hearts.
Well, that's what they're used to in their lives. You know, a lot of these young people, you know, so many people come in and out of their lives that they don't have a constant. And so if you could be that constant to this young person, and you can go on our website and look at testimonials from not only mentors but the mentees of how much this has changed their lives in such a positive way.
Well, it's a very positive website. We're down to about a minute and a half. Can you go out and give out your contact information?
Yeah, you can look at us. We're on www.tahoeyouth.org. Our Tahoe office is 541-2445, and then our Douglas is 782-4202. And then you can also look on our website to get the Alpine numbers and our incline numbers. I don't have them offhand. And then if you want to be a mentee or want to be a mentor, you can get the applications off there. We're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for some volunteers to help out at our drop-in center in the ranchos for the summer.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, everybody I've met so far has been really nice.
Oh, they're great
And,
out there.
you guys were having a blast at the little expo we went to. And if you want to get involved with the community, this is a good place to start.
It is. You know, we want to help these kids. They are the change. You know, they are our future. And
Well, that's what I agree with too.
You know?
That's what kind of I'm targeting, is trying to help as many young people as possible.
Yeah.
So we got 30 seconds. What's your last words about your program?
All right. Just help us out. Come and change kids' lives. It's very important. You know, a lot of these kids don't know that college is an option, or you know, if you know, the drop-in center is a place where they can come and get recharged, get resources, and get respect.
I like that.
You just want to know that we're out there in the community for the young people.
Well, thank you for being on Health Talk.
pleasure.
You'll be back. This has been Michael Smith for Health Talk. Get involved. Your community needs you. Thank you.